This is reality. This is reality. And this is reality. In the industrialized world, pollution is a byproduct of our everyday lives. As a society, it's something we choose to accept as a part of being modern. But what happens when it starts to kill us? Globally, diseases caused by pollution were responsible for an estimated 9 million premature deaths in 2015, with more than 90% of all pollution-related deaths occurring in low and middle-income countries. In general, pollution is defined as a harmful material that is introduced to an environment. And although there are many types of pollution, water and air pollution have the greatest effects on human health. And while the issue of pollution itself is extremely broad, we can still see drastic trends around the world. Water pollution accounted for 1.8 million deaths in 2015. This is happening when 80% of the world's populations face some sort of water insecurity, and a third of the world is dealing with insufficient water filtration systems. This allows for the introduction of pollutants into water systems from agricultural, industrial, and domestic routines. These practices release harmful chemicals and compounds into freshwater sources, some of which include lead, pesticides, and sewage. These substances get into waterways through the mismanagement and overuse of certain compounds, which can lead to health problems when consumed. Since individuals in lower income areas are less likely to have access to proper filtration systems or better sources of water, these contaminants can lead to major health issues, and sometimes an early death. Air pollution is another major health concern. In fact, according to the World Health Organization, 6.5 million deaths in 2015 were linked to poor air quality. Air pollution is created by several sources. However, major contributors include industrial practices, such as manufacturing, mining, and the burning of materials for agriculture. These chemicals are harmful to human health, and breathing them in can lead to lung cancer and respiratory diseases, along with many more issues. As a whole, air pollution is worsened in cramped urban areas, where poor air circulation means high pollutant concentrations. In fact, 90% of the world's population is exposed to air pollution above the World Health Organization guidelines. All these pollutants are part of an environmental system. That means pollution produced in one country can be carried to another through wind, waterways, and other forms of transport. As a result, pollution is a global issue. Overall, the world's biggest contributors to air pollution are countries with large populations and economies. However, it is poorer places that are experiencing the most health effects. In developing countries which are currently seeing major economic change, 1 in 4 deaths are tied to pollution. This is a result of cheaper industrial practices, which tend to discount environmental policy. Low-income individuals are also more affected due to their lack of access to proper waste management, and a tendency to live in high-density areas, while people of higher income tend to avoid these areas, resulting in lower exposure. Tackling a global issue means finding a global solution. Developed areas need to implement strict policies which standardize low emissions and promote greener ways of approaching large-scale industry, in order to avoid the creation and spread of pollutants. Changing our main energy source from fossil fuels to electric sources can be one way of doing this, while normalizing and making high-quality, reusable products more accessible, which would allow for less demand on industries which produce a lot of pollutants. Developing areas can also investigate aspects of urban planning to ensure they can balance economic growth and a sustainable future. Overall, pollutants found in air and water sources are causing damaging effects on human health. Created as a byproduct of industrial projects and in everyday practices, these compounds are contributing to a number of diseases, resulting in premature deaths. To combat this, companies and countries need to adopt policies to stop using harmful materials and find ways to properly dispose of them, while also looking at environmentally conscious tactics for future economic growth. Pollution has become a regular part of our everyday lives, but with all the harm it's causing to our health, it's time to make pollution a thing of the past. Maybe one day, this will be a reality for everyone.